Type 9 is able to see all points of view and has a gift for creating consensus. Nines are excellent team players and mediators whose adaptability allows them to remain balanced and unruffled. They believe that the world requires them to blend in, so they tend to get along well with others. Nines are most comfortable when things are harmonious and will go to great lengths to avoid or diffuse conflict, often at the expense of their own agenda and personal priorities. Once they take a position, however, they can be tenacious and stubborn in its defense.
I've always been oriented toward let's get a group together and work together. It's the cooperative idea of it's better to do things as a group. Let's all cooperate rather than compete. I'm quick to jump into if there's a conflict. I can see how to work a compromise or a situation where we get rid of the conflict and everybody wins. That's just my nature. I'm always pulled to do that. The other aspects of being a 9 are, in fact, the self-forgetting. I have to be vigilant to maintain focus, to not be scattered when I'm doing things. I tend to have many thoughts going on in my mind simultaneously and am easily distracted. So it requires focus on my part. I have to be really paying attention to what's going on, what needs to be done, what are the priorities, and I constantly work to get my day productive that way. I'm a team builder. I can work with people. People see me. I mean, they'll follow me. They see that, okay, I'm for them, and therefore they have a certain amount of trust in me. The natural way of making decisions for a 9 is to get consensus, and that's what I tend to do. Well, if there's some decision we have to make and it's not clear how to do it, what I tend to do is get everyone else to give their opinion and try to portray the facts, and we then try to move together to say, okay, what's the logical way we ought to move here? I think I get along fairly well with power. I accept it, and I think the people that work for me feel comfortable with my style. They don't see me as somebody who lords over them or in a general mode. I act as a mediator, as a facilitator, as a coach, so to speak, and they appreciate that. So I'd say that would be the good part. There's sometimes, though, when very strong, deliberate leadership is needed and someone who takes a very aggressive, out there mode. That's not me, and so I have to really work to kind of move up to that kind of stance. 9s run away from conflict, or that's the first thing is, I don't want to be here. This conflict is, let's smooth it over here, or that sort of thing. Knowing that about myself helps me see that sometimes when conflict comes, what I've been able to do is catch, hey, this is how I'm feeling inside. I want to get out of here, and it's not necessarily, or it's maybe not what's called for. Sometimes it's important to say, okay, here's a conflict. I've got to get in there. I've got to get in there because it's important. There's something wrong happening here. I can straighten it out. I'm good at seeing the sides and getting in there instead of shying away from it. Get in and deal with it. I think the 9 has the attribute of merging with other people. I think I listen well and see their point of view. That's probably the good part of it. Perhaps the downside of that is oftentimes I'll take their point of view, and I'll say, oh, okay, so that's the right thing to do. And oftentimes there's several points of view, and if I'm not careful, I bounce around from point of view to point of view rather than say, okay, now I've got all the facts, now what do we need to do here? We can't act from all these different directions. I have a real focus on let's get interesting work. Let's all follow our heart here because there's interesting work out there. That's what we want to do. That's more important to me than making a lot of money, is to let's do good work. The money will come. That's part of it. Then I think the atmosphere that's been created in the company is one that's comfortable. It's an invigorating, challenging environment, and I think people like to work there. I think the most important thing as a 9 is to take advantage of the fact that we are naturally team builders and we go for cooperation, and so we have this attribute of being able to build good teams and understanding different points of view and taking advantage of all the attributes of the other members of the team and whatever their numbers happen to be.
The major leadership development tasks for 9s involve getting clear about their priorities, setting limits, and expressing their own opinions.